Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, hold on one second. Okay, just making sure. Also, there. Yeah, hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today is episode 16 of the Mystery Reviews. Now, I have set hints out for the Mystery Review and gave a final hint just before the stream to see if anybody could guess. Now, only one person actually managed to guess, and that was Liquid Blake. So, Liquid Blake, if you see this, great job at guessing it very early on. And I believe Epime guessed Taming of the Shrew in the comment section when the stream was created, but unfortunately time expired the comment. Taming of the Shrew is not the same, or is not the answer. However, this movie is a slight adaptation of Taming of the Shrew. So, for those of you who have not guessed it, the movie is 10 Things I Hate About You. Now, this movie came out in, I believe, 1998. Let me just check one thing. 1999, rather. And it was early 1999 because I remember this was, or when I went to the theaters. Hey, One Rough Girl, good to see you. Now, when I went to the theaters to see this movie, this was during a time when my grandmother on my mother's side had passed away. And good morning to you. So, yep. This movie was basically something to help me and my brothers take our mind off of our grandparents passing. And I actually remember going to the theater with my uncle, and it's like, so what movie do y'all want to see? And I'm like, I want to see this one. Everybody else wanted to see 10 Things. I didn't originally want to see 10 Things I Hate About You when it was in theaters, because it just sounded like a title that just wasn't interesting, you know? Now, so we went into 10 Things because I was outnumbered, and this movie made an impression not just on its own merit, but because of a movie that had a trailer during the previews, and that was Star Wars Episode 1. Now, when you are 14 years old and you see the trailer for Star Wars Episode 1, I remember the majestic excitement that I felt. And then I watched this movie and I'm like, oh my God, this movie is freaking hilarious. This movie had great casting. I mean, Heath Ledger, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, freaking Larissa Oleynik, who sometimes I have mistaken for Jenna Malone. Reginald's quivering member. Yeah, exactly, Liquid Blake. Freaking, what's her name? Allison Janney, I think it is, who plays Miss Perky, is writing a sex novel in this book. She's the principal, and she's typing out a sex novel while Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in there, and she's just freaking trying to come up with the right words for that particular scene. She's writing that same damn page the entire freaking movie, and it's hilarious. Yes, a lot of people have tried to, or a lot of movies have tried to duplicate its magic, and they fall short. This movie, even with all of the technical small little goofs, even with all of that, this movie is still high quality. And a lot of people, get this, if they saw it today, or if this movie was released today, a lot of people would probably claim identity politics because of the character of Kat Stratford in this movie. She is a statement feminist. or she uses all the buzzwords nowadays of patriarchal or the oppressive patriarchal values that dictate our education, and how the frickin' teacher, Mr. Morgan, he just really hates how, or he plays the oppressed guy pretty much. It's like, hey, Kat, I want to thank you for your point of view, but next time you cruise the PTA, cruising for better lunch meat or whatever it is you white girls all complain about, ask them why they can't buy a book written by a black man. I mean, yeah, a lot of people would complain that this movie was woke if it was made today. Thing is, it's not really that woke. You got a teacher that has his own point of view. I mean, yeah, he does tend to make it about race a lot, but it really doesn't have any woke values because the woke crap didn't start until like 2016-ish. But, Jesus had a gun, yeah. So this movie the first second of this movie, even with the Touchstone logo coming through, it just kicks off with music, with 1 Week from Bare Naked Ladies. And this movie perfectly establishes Julia Stiles' character, Kat, right off from the get-go. You see these girls that are just bounced into 1 Week, and then you see her just roll up with whatchamacallit, singing I Don't Give a Damn About My Reputation and whatnot. And you just immediately understand she's the girl that you don't want to fuck with. She walks right in, rips the prom thing right off the freaking hold on 1 second. The sun was shining earlier, man. Had perfect lighting. And let's 1 second, folks. Gotta set the mood better. Yeah, that should be better. Yeah, much better lighting. So, yeah. David Krumholtz. Yes, David Krumholtz as Michael in this movie was perfect freaking. Like I said, there's great casting. David Krumholtz is one of the best choices in this one. Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, as I said, you have a lot of great ones. Larry Miller, who plays the dad of the Stratford sisters, it's like fucking phenomenal. The dude does just a wonderful job playing a dad that is very overly concerned about his daughters because, well, look what he does for a living. He's a freaking birthing doctor. So this movie is loosely based on Taming of the Shrew. It's a high school movie. This basically tells you, or it's meant to show the rigors of high school, but also tell a great and funny story as well attached to it. The introduction of the characters is well done. The movie hits all the right comedic moments. This movie is one of the highest quality movies of the ending of the 90s decade. Honestly, it was great to watch. So then we get into, after Kat goes in, you get to Mrs. Perky. She's like, 9 schools in 10 years. My. Army brat? Yeah, my dad. That's enough. I think you won't find Padua as much different from any of your old schools. She strategically stood in the window to get people to see her, and then they throw up all that stuff at her. Same little ass white shit for brains everywhere. She points to, wait, what? Am I in the right office? Not anymore. You're not. I have deviants to see in the novel to finish, so scoot. Freaking Alice Janney, man, she plays that character very freaking well. And then you get introduced to Heath Ledger's character, how he exposed himself to a lunch lady in the cafeteria. I was joking around with the lunch lady. It was a bratwurst. Bratwurst, aren't we the optimists? This basically is letting you know nowadays movies would have to have trans, bi, tri. Yeah, exactly, rough girl. And the thing is, they do have. Do they? No, I don't think they do. But anyway, I don't think they have any of that stuff in the movie, but that's fine. Not every movie should have to have all of that in it, you know? And so she basically disarms him as well. She's like, aren't we the optimist? Next time, keep it in your pouch. And then she scoots him, and he's just walking away like, what the fuck just happened? You know? It's freaking just great stuff. And then we get the walkthrough of all the different grouping of kids. And I love the introduction of David Krumholtz's character. It's like, Michael Eckman, I'm here to show you around. Oh, thank God. Usually they send one of those audiovisual geeks. You know, I know what you mean. Hey, Michael, what do we do with the slides? Michael. even freaking Cameron, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, he's like, wait, what? They let Heath kind of keep his accent too. Yeah, they did. And it's just so freaking great, this movie. He's like, okay, so here we got the white Rastas. They think they're black. Semi-political, but mostly smoke a lot of weed. Yeah. Then you got the coffee kids, and they spill the freaking coffee. That was Costa Rican! And whatnot. It's like, very edgy. Don't make any sudden moves around them. And then you get the Ivy Leaguers, or the cool kids. He's like, these are your basic pretty kids. Now, unless they talk to you, I'm sorry about that, folks. Yeah. And I have some internet problems every now and then. Our router decides to basically have a seizure and just be a little bitch. No, can't throw that. Can't throw that. Can't throw that. I can throw my wallet at it. Fucker. But yeah. Let me get myself back in here and the other one so I can go over to talking points. But yeah. Hey, at least I'm not having the same problems that I did at my my landlady's house, where if the phone would frickin' ring, it would kick us out of, it would kick the internet. So I'm very thankful for that. But anyway, so you see David Krumholtz basically introducing all the characters, and then he gets to the Ivy Leaguers, and they're like, close the bogey. Yesterday, I was their god. What happened? Bogey Lowenstein spread a rumor that I buy my iZods at an outlet mall. Now, honestly, I have no idea what iZods were, but it's like, so they kicked you out? Hostile takeover. But don't worry, he'll pay. And I love how they integrate everything they say in this movie are basically integrated into the movie for later consumption. So then you get the introduction to Cat Stratford and how frickin' Joseph Gordon-Levitt is just burning for this girl. I burn, I pine, I perish. Of course you do. Girl got deep tits, sure. And then you see how ditzy she is. You see, I think there's a difference between like and love. You see, I like my Skechers, but I love my Prada backpack. But I love my Skechers. That's because you don't have a Prada backpack. Oh. And he's trying, or David Krumholt's like, Forget about her. Completely uptight father. It's also a widely known fact that the Stratford sisters aren't allowed to date. Yeah, cool, whatever. And then we get introduced to Joey Donner, the dipshit, the model who is coming out with the tube sock ad and whatnot. It's every character that is important gets an introduction, and it's perfect. It really is freaking hilarious. So then we get to the plan we go through the description of Bianca. Is she always so vapid, conceited? Look, dude, she is wearing a strategically well placed sundress to make us guys think that we want her, and to make people like us know that we will never have her, and to make people like Joey think that they want to. Or put her in your spank bank and move on. You know, he's like, you're missing what's there. Or you're wrong about her. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, well, you might be in love. She's actually looking for a French tutor. Are you serious? That's perfect. Do you speak French? No, but I will. I mean, this kid, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, at the time, it's like, you know, if you're willing to go that extra mile, a girl should fucking date you. And that's just my opinion, folks. So, yeah. Then we get to Mr. Morgan's class, where it's like, what do we all think about the sun also rises? And so one girl's like, he's so romantic. Romantic Hemingway? He was an abusive misogynist or alcoholic misogynist staying too close to Picasso trying to nail his leftovers. And then you get Joey as opposed to a bitter self-righteous hag who has no friends. Everybody's starting to laugh. Pipe down, Chachi! Freaking Mr. Morgan. Dude, the way that he just goes off on Joey in each class, during each class in the movie, is freaking phenomenal. He's like, then Verona comes in, Heath Ledger. What I miss? The patriarchal values that dictate our education. Good. So he goes to leave. Hey, Mr. Morgan, can we get Kat to take her Midol before she comes to class? Someday you're going to get bitch slapped, and I'm not going to do a thing to stop it. Teachers like that need to be in the world today. I'm telling you, people like that need to be in the world today. They are the people that need to educate our kids. And then he's like, and Kat, I want to thank you for your point of view. It must have been hard suffering all those years of suburban oppression. Must be tough. But next time you cruise the PTA, cruising for better lunch meat or whatever, ask them why they can't buy a book written by a black man. Then you see the white Rastas. That's right, come on. Don't even get me started on YouTube. No problem, man. And she's like, anything else? Yeah, go to the office. You're pissing me off. I remember kids getting sent to the office for less than that. They're here but afraid of students. Yeah, that's the thing. We need to go back to the 90s where teachers could actually freaking defend themselves against students. I mean, folks, this was a movie made during a time where teachers weren't afraid of students. Where teachers were not afraid to just freaking deck a student if they got out of hand. You know? It really is a lost art. It really is a lost value. Where teachers were not afraid to let kids know who's boss. Like Deadpool sticking a gun against the teddy bear. Sit your ass down or the teddy gets it, you know? If he was a babysitter. But anyway, then we get to the end of school, the end of the first day, and Michael's on his bike and he almost gets hit by Kat. Remove head from sphincter, then drive. You all right? Yeah, just had a minor run-in with the Shrew. My parents knew the teachers, so if I got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at home. There you go. I mean, me, I was spec ed because of bullshit, but yeah. And he's like, that's your girlfriend's sister. Wait, that's Bianca's sister? Yeah, the mewling Rampalian wretch herself. They throw in a lot of Shakespeare lines in this movie. I burn, I pine, I perish. That's a Shakespeare line. The mewling Rampalian wretch herself, that is a Shakespeare line. They go and they sprinkle those lines all throughout this movie. And it is so great. And he's like, stay cool, bro. Yeah. And then he rides the bike off the hill. The scene where Krumholtz goes off the hill, and when you see him land, my balls! It's like, oh my God. So then he crashes. All the kids are looking. And once he sees it, yeah! Everybody starts clapping. And he turns around. And he's like, oh, dear God. It's like, oh, if you do something like that in school, folks, the best thing you could have done is make it look deliberate so that you got laughed at but also laughed with. It's the best way to go in the situation because the situation literally dictates it. And let me just plug this in because otherwise this would be dead in a matter of an hour. But anyway, so then we get the introduction to the Stratford sisters at home with their dad. And I love the first line that the dad says. Hello, Katerina. Make anyone cry today? Exactly. I meant to do that. Yep. And he's like, make anybody cry today? Sadly, no, but it's only 4:30. And then you get the other one, or Bianca coming in. Hey, Daddy. Hey, precious. And where have you been? Nowhere. Hey, what's this? It says Sarah Lawrence. So then you realize that Kat wants to get the hell out. She wants to go to the East Coast, you know? Get the hell away from her dad and everything. Isn't Sarah Lawrence on the other side of the country? That's the basis of its appeal. I thought you were going to stay here, be a UW like me. No, you decide. Oh, so it's just pack up and leave and that it? Let's hope so. Ask Bianca who drove her home. Kat, don't change the drove. Who drove you home? Now don't earn. You get introduced to the rules. What are the two house rules? Number 1, no dating till you graduate. Number 2, no dating till you graduate. That's it. And it's like, that is so unfair. You don't know what's unfair? This is for you too. Today, I delivered a set of twins to a 15-year-old girl. Do you know what she said to me? I'm a crack whore who should have told my sleazy boyfriend to wear a condom? Close. But no. She said, I should have listened to my father. And it's just a great freaking line, or it's just great stuff that he delivers as a father and whatnot. And he's like, okay, old rule out. New rule. Bianca can date. When she does. Points to her, says, but she's a mutant. What if she never dates? Then you'll never date. Oh, I like that. And I'll be able to sleep at night. The deep slumber of a father whose daughters aren't out getting impregnated. The way that he was able to just snap that line in is freaking, it shows how good he is. He's a comedy actor and he does a great job with it. So then he's like, we'll talk to Sarah Lawrence later. Fine. Can't you just take out some blind deaf retard to take you to the movies so I could have one date? I'm sorry. You'll just have to miss out on the witty repartee of Joey Eat Me Donner. You know what? The fact that she said eat me and what happened later on in the film probably happened. But anyway, so then the plan begins. The mission of finding a date for Kat because Cameron really wants to date Bianca. And Bianca tells her, or tells Cameron, and calls them all different names. Curtis, Cameron, or Calvin, and whatnot. And she's like, you'd do that for me? Hell yes. I mean, I could look into it. So Michael and Cameron are coming out with ideas of dating Kat Stratford, or with some people that date Kat Stratford. Padua's finest. Would any of you guys like to take out or date Katarina Stratford. You get one guy just laughing his ass off. You get another guy just like, then you get the other dude. Oh man, I've never been that ripped. Oh, gotta go. That sucks. Take it easy, rough girl. Thank you for stopping in. I'll be going through this movie bit by bit, so if you're able to come back, awesome. So he's like, one kid's like, I've never been that ripped. And then you get the nerd kid, maybe if we were the last people alive and there were no sheep. Are there sheep? And then you get the fat kid screaming. I mean, it's like, yeah. Then in science class, did I or did I not tell you that it was pointless? No one will go out with her. Introduction to Pat Verona, whipping out his butterfly knife, stabbing the frickin' frog. Now, it's a goof because he doesn't actually stab the frog. He stabs the material underneath the frog. But it still basically gets the point across. He's like, what about him? No, don't look at him, man. He is a criminal. He just did a year, or I heard he lit a state trooper on fire one time. He just did a year in San Quentin. Well, then at least he's horny. Forget it, pal. He sold his own liver on the black market for a set of speakers. And he's like, or so then you see him freaking use one of the gas things in chemistry class. And he's lighting a cigarette and his friend takes it and puts the cigarette out. He's like, he's our guy. And you see the open flame and then he looks over at them. And then he just runs his hand through the flame like this, groping the flame as it were. And so then Cameron goes in, tries to approach him, and he just drills a hole into his book. Okay, so how do we get him to take out Cat? I mean, we could pay him, but we don't got any money. Well, then what we need is a backer. What's that? Somebody with money who's stupid. So they get Joey Donner into it. And Joey freaking draws a dick on Krumholtz's face with a black marker. And he's like, what are you doing getting him involved? Relax. What? We make him think he's calling the shots. And while he's busy setting things up, you get time with Bianca. You know, that does work, yeah. And then he's like, I have a dick on my face, don't I? Yeah. So, oh my God. So the plan basically begins, and Joey goes up to frickin' Patrick, Heath Ledger's character. Hey, completely ignored. Had some great duck last night because during his conversation with Michael, while he was drawing a dick on his face, he's like, or he's saying, I heard he ate a live duck once, everything but the beak and feet. So that gets his attention. And he's like, do I know you? You see that girl? Yeah. That's Katarina Stratford. I want you to go out with her. Yeah, sure, Sparky. Look, and he tells him the whole thing about the rule. And he's like, that's a touching story. It really is. Not my problem. Would you make it your problem if I provided generous compensation? You're going to pay me to take out some chick. Uh-huh. All right, well, let's earn that. He's like, how much? $20. They look over at Kat. She freaking just plows over a girl. And it's like, fine, 30. Yep. Thanks to that movie, I discovered Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Nice. Good to see you, Epi. It's always good to see you, dude. So then he's like, fine, 30. Well, let's think about this. You go to the movies, it's $15. She's going to want popcorn. That's 53. I'm like, when he says $53 for a fucking popcorn, I'm like, what the hell theater are you going to? $53 for popcorn? The fuck? You know? Like, so we're looking at $75. This isn't a negotiation. Take it or leave it, Trailer Park. $50 and we got a deal. Fabio. I just love how they play off of each other. And then he tries, or Patrick tries, going in to get to talk to Kat. And it fails spectacularly. The dad in this movie is great. Yes, Larry Miller is great. And then you see Cameron and Michael watching from the bleachers. We're screwed. Hey, I don't want to see that defeatist attitude. I want to see you upbeat. We're screwed. There you go. And then you see Mr. Chapin get hit with a golf ball because Bogey Lowenstein's hitting him off the hill and ripping him towards the field. And all the kids run, and Bogey's just standing there with a big-ass smile on his face. Run, Bogey! Now, Bogey Lowenstein is this typical rich kid and whatnot who Michael wants to get revenge on, and believe me, it's going to be great when he does. So then you see the cats at the music store, and you see freaking Verona by her car. Nice ride. Vintage fenders. And she's like, are you following me? I was in the laundromat. I saw your car. I thought I'd come over and say hi. So he tries again and gets shot down. And so Joey just parks right in back of Katerina so she can't back out. Do you mind? Not at all. So she backs into his freaking sports car, puts a hefty freaking hole in it too. I love that scene. During the time when I was seeing this in theaters, I was laughing my ass off at this. Whoops. Then you see the father. Whoops. My insurance doesn't cover PMS. Well, then tell him I had a seizure. Is this because of Sarah Lawrence? Are you punishing me because I want you to stay closer to home? Or are you punishing me because mom left? You want to leave her out of this? Fine, then stop making my decisions for me. I'm your father. That's my right. And it just goes on for there. And it's like, I want to go to an East Coast school. I want you to trust me with making my decisions, and I want you to stop trying to control my life because you can't control yours. I love how freaking open she is. He's like, oh, yeah, you know what I want? Then his beeper goes off. So he has to go again to work because he's a doctor on call, you know? Did you just, and then it's her sister, did you just maim Joey's car? Yeah, looks like I'll have to take a bus. Is the fact that you've gone completely psycho managed to escape your attention? And so she calls for her daddy because, yeah. And so then the next day, you see Verona at the school. And then Joey's behind his locker. When I shell out 50, I expect results. Yeah, I'm on it. Watching that bitch violate my car doesn't count as a date. So if you don't get any, I don't get any. So get some. I just upped my price. What? $100 a date in advance. Forget it. Well, forget her sister then. And when he does that smile, it's like, okay, I can see why he got cast as a Joker. Dude has a freaking grin. That is just but a lot bigger, dude. It's like he was meant to play the Joker, you know? Larissa Olnick will always be Alex Mack for me. Honestly, I don't know what show that is from, to be 100%. Honestly, I always used to confuse Larissa Oleynik for Jenna Malone, to be 100% honest. So, then, let's see here. The Cameron comes up with a plan to investigate the sister, Kat, and Michael's revenge against Bogey Lowenstein, where Bogey's so they go in, talk to Verona. He's like, we know what you're trying to do with Kat Stratford. That right. What are you planning to do about it? Help you out. What is it? Or why is that? Because my buddy here has a major Jones for Bianca Stratford. What is it with this chick? She got beer-flavored nipples? And then it's like, we set this whole thing up so Cameron can get the girl. Not Joey's just a look. Joey can plow her out or can plow her wherever he wants. I'm in it for the cash. Hey, there will be no plow. Shut up. And it's like, so you guys are going to help me tame the wild beast? Absolutely. We'll find out what she likes, or we'll do some research, find out what she likes. We're your guys. Yeah, and he means that in a non prison movie type of way. I just love the entire scene, man. So then they have Bogey Lowenstein's hosting a party. It would be the perfect opportunity for what? For you to take out Kat. So and he's like, and for a little payback. So free beer, party, and free beer, and then they toss it, lets everybody know that Bogey is about to have a freaking party there, even though he's only doing a little Ivy League thing. I think G-rated T1000. Weird. She was in the show where she got exposed to toxic waste and became a mutant that could turn into puddles. Interesting. Oh, the party. That was a good scene. Dude, it was freaking epic. So then Kat or Bianca and Cameron are talking and start investigating. She finds black panties and it's like, what does that mean? It means she wants to have sex someday. That's what. She could just like the color. You don't buy black lingerie unless you want somebody to see it. It's like, and at that time when I was seeing it in theaters when I was 14, I'm like, okay, good to know. Write it down. Didn't really write it down though. But anyway, so he's like, can I see your room? No, a girl's room is very personal. And he's like, oh, okay. And it's like, damn, shot down. Good shot, or good try, kid. Good try. So then they go and report their findings to Verona, who's at a bar. And I just love how it's like, wow, is this what a bar really looks like? So he grabs the thing and freaking Mike just slaps it out of your hand. Don't touch anything. You might get hepatitis. And then he grabs a freaking 8-ball, throws it out of the way of a guy who is about to sink a shot and loses the money. And it's like, dude, that's something that a bar fight is usually started over, you know? But anyway, they get to the scene. He's like, what do you got for me? Well, we got, he's like, or before we start, should you be drinking alcohol when you don't have a liver? What? Never, none. He's like, first off, Kat doesn't like smokers. So you're telling me I'm a non-smoker. Yeah. Also, Bianca said that Kat likes pretty guys. And they look at him and they're like, are you telling me I'm not a pretty guy? He's very pretty. He's a gorgeous guy. You're a gorgeous guy. And so they pull out a bunch of lights, and he's like, so I'm supposed to buy her some noodles and listen to some chicks who can't play their instruments, right? You ever hear of Club Skunk? Her favorite band's playing there tomorrow night. I can't be seen at Club Skunk. Hey, assail your ears for one moment. And he's like, so he's not sure. She's got a pair of black underwear, if that helps. Couldn't hurt, right? So he shows up there, and he sees her, and, you know, he actually thinks that she's kind of beautiful, you know? She's dancing with her friend in front of her favorite band. And so he goes to the bar, and she sees him at the bar. If you're going to ask me out, you might as well get it over. Would you mind? You kind of ruined this for me. You're not surrounded by your usual cloud of smoke. Yeah, no, I quit. Apparently they're bad for you. You think? And he's like, you know, these guys ain't any bikini kills or the raincoats, but they're not bad. So she's kind of shocked that he knows who the raincoats are. And he kind of embarrasses her a little bit in a funny way. I was watching you out there. I never thought I heard you, or I never seen you look so sexy. And that's just when the music ends. So she laughs. Come to Bogey's party with me. You don't give up, do you? Was that a yes? No. Well, then was that a no? No. I'll see you at 9:30 then. So she waves at him. That's basically an affirmation. So then it goes to the sisters, or to her sister and her friend who are trying to sneak out. Should have used the window. Every dad. Every freaking dad. If you are a father of a daughter, which my older brother is going to be when she gets older, he's probably going to have to stop her from doing some stuff like that. But John, if you see this, I love you. But yeah, it's like, so where are we going? Oh, if you must know, a small study group of friends, otherwise known as an orgy. Mr. Stafford, it's just a party, and hell is just a sauna. This movie has such freaking great lines in it, I'm telling you. He's like, you know anything about a party? No. People expect me to be there. Kat's not going, you're not going. So she convinces her sister to go. It's starting. Oh, Daddy, it's just a party, Daddy. I want you to wear the belly. Dad, no. Not all night, just a few minutes around the house so you can understand the full weight of your reactions. So he puts a pregnant belly on his daughter, and then the older sister opens the door, sees Pat Verona there. She's like, what are you doing here? 9:30, right? Oh, I'm early. Whatever, I'm driving. Who knocked up your sister? I'm like, oh my fucking God, that was hilarious. Like, who knocked up your sister? She just looks at her because she has her hand on the back or holding her back because of the weight and whatnot. And it's like, oh, dude. Heath, when he sees her wearing the fat, or exactly, dude. If fucking exactly. It's like, who knocked up your sister? Then she looks at him and he's like, so they get to the party, Bogey Lowenstein's party. Everybody starts moving in on Bogey Lowenstein. And Bogey's thinking that he's about to have just a normal party. That must be Nigel with the brie. Now, I honestly thought John Segan was the guy that played Bogey. Or John Cryer, rather. The guy who plays freaking Lex Luthor in the CW Supergirl thing. But I realized he was a little older than that, so it couldn't have been him. But then Bogey's house just gets freaking raided and huge party starts going there. And every part of it, if I was to go through every part of it, it is just great, dude. So then you see, I have two daughters. One is a teenager, so the struggle is, luckily for me, my oldest has a good head on her shoulder. Yeah, so the struggle is real. I'm willing to bet, or I'm betting you were going to say. Good to see you, Pastor G. Always a pleasure to have you here. And also, folks, if you can, smash that like button. Also, share the stream out so I can get a little bit more traffic. I know right now I'm actually competing with Lethal Lightning because he's doing his gaming with Rhino. So I'm probably going to have to move the mystery reviews to Wednesday instead of Tuesday from now on. So I'm not really doing any cross traffic with channels, so I can actually have or carve out a little bit of time, you know? The struggle is real. I'm trying to get to 750 subs, and it's not exactly easy. Plus, I'm trying to get my watch time up to 2,000 hours before the end of the year. So if you guys can help me with that, awesome. Thank you. Much appreciated. So then we get Bianca or Joey's looking for Bianca, and he runs into Kat, and he's like, where's your sister? Or your sister here? Stay away from my sister. I'll stay away from her. Can't guarantee she won't stay away from me. It's okay, Pastor. We all do sometimes. So then you find out that, or Heath is following Kat around, and then she sees that her sister caught her, or her sister found Joey. Look who found me. Bianca, wait. Don't address me in public. It's like, shallow bitch, you know? This is where you basically see Bianca is being totally frickin' vapid, like Michael had said she was. And she's like, look, I'm trying to enjoy my adolescence, so scamper off and do the same. And so she starts taking drinks. She's like, I'm getting trashed, man. Isn't that what you're supposed to do at a party? And it's just freaking hilarious. Also, the fight that was in the party scene. It's like, guys, please take it outside. Crashes through the window. Thank you. You see the cowboy guys spitting freaking tobacco, chewing tobacco in one of his glass vase things. He's like, oh. I mean, Bogey Lowenstein is at his wit's end during this whole scene, man. And then you see Cameron see Bianca, and it's like, hi, Bianca. He's like, oh, hey, Cameron, you know Chastity? Yeah, well, I think we have art class together. Neat. And he's like, you really look amazing. Thank you. And then Joey comes in, freaking whisks Bianca away, and he's he just has that lost puppy look on his face. And it's like, and he's trying to, and Joey's trying to do the whole, or explaining the whole model thing. Hey, I got a hemorrhoid ad coming. I know it sounds kind of bogus, but I get to do some acting. Which totally bores the hell out of Bianca. So she sees Cameron, and Cameron's looking at her very disappointed, which he should. I mean, if you pulled all this shit so you could actually get a date with a girl and she blows you off, it's kind of fucking rude, you know? I mean, believe me, there's a lot of shit that I've had happen to me that, well, yeah, a lot of fucking women are real fucking bitches. But you know what? I just cut them out and was like, hey, you missed this. Or you missed your opportunity with this. Sorry. You could have had a good guy on, or a good guy. Now you got this guy that's fucking knocking you up before you're even fucking married. But yeah. So then she hates the party and whatnot. And Patrick catches Kat, and she does a freaking table dance and gives herself a concussion. And he's being the responsible guy, kind of helping her out, sits her down. She's like, I just need to lie down for a bit. Yeah, you lie down when you go to sleep. Sleep is good. Not if you have a concussion. So then Cameron's there, and he's like, whole thing's off. He's like, Cameron, do you like the girl? Well, yeah. And is she worth all this trouble? Well, I thought she was. Look, she either is or she isn't. All right, listen very well. Joey isn't half the man you are. And also, don't let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. Go for it. And then Kat starts falling down, so he catches her, and he's like, I got to deal with this. And so he takes her out to the swing, and Pat is helping, or he's being a nice guy, and he's like, leave it to you to use big, but it's so patronizing. Leave it to you to use big words when you're smashed. I don't think so, and whatnot. And he's like, why are you doing this? I told you could have had a concussion. You don't care if I ever wake up. Sure I do. Why? Because then I'd have to be taking out girls who actually like me. Heath with the sage advice. Exactly. And that is one of the things that I actually put in my talking points. Don't let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. So the party basically leads to some unexpected results. She starts liking him, even though she just blew chunks all over his feet from all that tequila. And he's there to help her as she passes out, too, because of the concussion and the booze. So then he drives her home, and they have a nice touching moment in the car. It's like, I know everybody digs your sister, but she's without. And so she actually leans in for a kiss. But because she is drunk, he does the right thing. He doesn't kiss her. He's like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Well, she's kind of pissed off for that. It's like, well, you're drunk. It's kind of not the right thing to do, you know? So he drives away in his vehicle as Cameron gives a ride to Bianca home because she had to be home in 20 minutes, where Chastity then goes with Joey because, hey, you passed. And she's like, bitch. And so she gets the ride home, and he's like, have you ever been this, or have you always been this conceited? And she actually admits, yes. As an Aussie male, having a Sheila Chunder on your shoes is a positive sign. Well, good with the Aussie slang. I actually had no idea what Chunder meant until, because I've heard it before. I just didn't know that it meant fucking throwing up. But yeah, thanks for that, Epi. I learned something new today. So he starts basically telling her, he's like, look, just because you're beautiful doesn't mean you get to treat people like they don't matter. I mean, I defended you when people called you conceited. I stuck up for you. I learned French for you, and then you just blow me off. And so she just pulls him in, kisses him, and whatnot. And he's like, and I'm back in the game. So the next day, you see Kat walking in, and everybody's like, dance for me, cowgirl. What do we owe you for the table dance? And so the teacher's like, not that I give a damn, but how was everybody's weekend? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should ask Kat. Unless you kick the crap out of your dumb butt, I don't want to hear about it. So then he recites Sonnet 141 from Shakespeare. In faith, I do not love thee with thine eyes, for they be 1,000 errors, no. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who in the spite of those please they don't. He gets red-pilled for all of 5 seconds, discovering his Chad status. Then he gets a kiss, and he's back to the blue pill. Actually, dude, I'd switch the colors in that. But anyway, he's like, look, I know Shakespeare's a dead white guy, but he knew his shit. So we could overlook all that. I want you all to write your own version of this sonnet. And then Cat Stratford is really looking for, he's like, yes, miss, I have an opinion about everything. Do you want it in iambic pentameter? You're not going to fight me on this? No, I think it's good assignment. You're messing with me, aren't you? No, I'm really looking forward to writing it. Get out of my class. What? Out! Get out! Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Shut up. That's freaking, dude. The guy that played Mr. Morgan is so freaking great in this movie. So, then we get the fact that Kat is still pissed off at him. And she's like, what did you do to her? I didn't do anything. She would have been too drunk to remember anyway. But the plan was working. What do you care? I thought you wanted out. Well, yeah, that was until she kissed me. Where? In the car. So then Michael comes up and he's like, or he runs into a bunch of people and he's like, okay, I got the scoop. What'd she say? Hates him with the fires of 1,000 suns. That's a direct quote. It's also a Shakespearean quote. And so he's like, well, we don't know. Maybe she just needs a day to cool off. And then a ball flies by their head, right in between them. And you see her walking back. He's like, maybe 2. So it's like, oh my God. Then there's the archery class with Bianca, and Joey comes up. Hey there, Cupid. Hey, Joey. You're concentrating awful hard considering it's gym class. And so she's like, oh, and just looses the arrow as she's turning. And you hear, oh! Then you see the teacher with an arrow in his ass, and all the students are going to help him. And it's like, oh my God, man, really? So she's like, I want to talk to you about prom. Well, I can't go until unless my sister does. Oh, your sister is going. Since when? Oh, let's just say I got it taken care of. And then you go to Verona, and he's following Kat around, sees her playing guitar in the or in a store, and it's a nice song. The music, the different songs that they use for each scene is very well thought out and very well placed. Switching any of those songs out would have been a mistake with any other song, because these were all perfect songs, So then you actually get the sense that Patrick is falling for Kat. He actually is liking her, and so he's following her through watching her through the library, or right through the bookshelves. He's watching her as she's reading and whatnot, and then he's like, have you seen The Feminine Mystique? I've lost my copy. What are you doing here? I heard there was a poetry reading. You're so wholesome, or charming. Wholesome, unwelcome. You're not as twisted as everyone thinks you are. You're not as badass as you think you are. Oh, somebody still got their panties in a twist. And she's like, don't for 1 minute think you had any effect on my panties. Well, what did I have an effect on? Other than my upchuck reflex, nothing. And then she literally slams The Feminine Mystique right into his chest. It's like, well, at least she was still helping. That shows she cares. But so then we get them at the, or Joey, or not Joey, but Patrick, Michael, and Cameron at the cafeteria in school. You're right, she's still pissed. Sweet love, renew thy force. Hey, don't say shit like that to me. Or don't say shit like that out loud. People can hear you. Look, you embarrassed the girl. Sacrifice yourself on the altar of dignity and even the score. All freaking, or these are all Shakespearean lines. Hey, Brian, good to see you. And yes, the soundtrack is actually a key part of this movie. So then, that was actually good advice. And then freaking Michael just comes up. Look, don't say shit like that to him. People can hear you. Also, during this time, Michael had just approached Kat's friend, Mandela, who honestly is one of the hotter women in this freaking movie. So he actually pulls some Shakespearean quotes to her because she really likes William Shakespeare. And you get the feeling that they're ready for a date. And then you see that he's like, I got this friend, and he likes your friend. And then you see them walking, or you see Kat and her friend Mandela walking up. Kat rips off the prom thing like she does all the time. I like Romeo and Juliet movie better. Yeah, well, this one is actually, it's a great freaking movie. 10 Things is one of the best movies of the 90s. I'll actually make that claim right now. It's actually one of the better movies of the 90s, especially in the comedy era, because you could do all the dark humor and whatnot. So as you see Kat rip down this prom one, you see her friend Mandela just roll her eyes to it. She's like, who would want to go to that mating ritual? I would, but I don't have a date. Are you serious that you want to or dress all up so you can surprise Dexter with a boner and listen to a band that by definition blows? She's like, fine, I won't. Okay, we won't go. It's not like I have a dress anyway. You're totally looking at this from the wrong perspective. We're making a statement. Oh, goody. Something new and different for us. It's like that, or the whole rebel thing is kind of getting old, you know? Even her friend is kind of wishing she wouldn't. So then you see, hold on. Then you see freaking Pat or Verona Ledger walk up to this guy, hand him a few $100. The DiCaprio Romeo movie is my most hated movie of all time. I was 7 years old, and I had to sit through that damn film at the drive and to be rewarded with an Independence Day right afterward. Nice. Orange Hat, the Romeo and Juliet movie with Leonardo, was dark humor. Well, I would have to look at it. I honestly haven't seen that one. To be 100% honest, I haven't seen it. I only saw one version of Romeo and Juliet, and that was during high school. So then you see Ledger turning on some audio equipment, and he sings I Love You Baby to Kat to try to win her over or try to get her back on liking him. And the band starts playing it too. He gets caught by the cops. And I got to say, he actually does have a good singing voice. Heath Ledger, it is truly tragic that he died early in life, because I'm willing to bet that dude would have had a career that would have spanned decades. He is that good of an actor. And I'm not just saying that because he did the Joker very well. He did great parts in the movies that he did. It's no joke. The dude had range. So then he gets detention because, well, the cops kind of chased him out. And you see the gym teacher sit down because he's hosting the detention, and then get back up because he had an arrow in his ass. And then he walks up to one of the kids. He's like, you look pretty nervous. Yes, sir. You're sweating like a pig. Yes, sir. Your eyes are all bloodshot. Yes, sir. You got pot, don't you? So the kid hands him a freaking bag of pot. I'm confiscating this. Then he walks up, sees Cheetos on the other guy's desk. This too. Because he knows he's going to get the munchies after you freaking or blaze up. So I love Heath Ledger's Joker. I do too. I honestly think it was one of the better ones. A lot of comic book Puritans say he wasn't really a Joker. He was more of an anarchist. It's like, dude, nobody played a perfect Joker except for maybe freaking Mark Hamill voicing the Joker. But as far as live action Jokers go, he's top two. He's top two. So, yeah. Heath Ledger did a wonderful job as the Joker. So then Kat comes in to try to bail frickin' Pat out, and she flashes her teacher. The whole frickin' flashing of the teacher is so frickin' hilarious. It's like, oh my God, folks. It's like, how do we get him to look left? Like this! Win! And she just, okay, now that you've seen the plan, I'm going to go and show the plan to someone else. Oh my God, dude. You do know or for those of you who don't know, yes, that is very freaking funny. I thought Heath's Joker was closer to Victor Zsasz. Victor Zsasz liked to cut himself a million times, where Heath Ledger, he had the laugh and whatnot. Victor Zsasz, I'm one of the few who didn't like Heath's Joker, and that's okay, dude. Different opinions are welcome here, and you're allowed to be wrong every once in a while. Anyway, so after the escape from detention, they have a nice little paddle trip, and then they do paintball, and they're learning about all the hearsay from each other. He's like, none of that stuff is true. He's like, or she's like, asking about the jail, and he's like, fallacy. Dead guy in the parking lot. Rumor. The duck. Hearsay. Bobby Ridgway's balls. Fact. And he's like, oh, but he had it coming. He tried groping me in the lunch line. Orange, rubbing salt in the wound. Exactly. And he's like, fair enough. She's like, the accent, it's real. I lived in Australia until I was 10. With the pygmies? Close. With my mom. And she's like, so where were you last year? I know the porn career is a lie. Do you? And so he's like, tell me, so they have a nice little thing, and he asks her to go to the prom with him. She's like, no. The paintball scene in 10 Things I Hate About You is up there with the paintball scene in Failure to Launch. I'll have to check that movie out to make a comparison. So he's like, well, come on. People won't expect you to go. She's like, why are you pushing this? What's in it for you? So I need a motive to go with you. Is that it? You need therapy, you know that? Answer the question, Patrick. Nothing. Nothing is in it for me except for the pleasure of your company. Then he puts a cigarette in his mouth because, well, it kind of pissed him off. So she throws the cigarette out and leaves the room. And Bianca goes to her father trying to ask him about the prom. And he thinks that she wants to go with Joey, but actually she wants to go with Cameron. And also at this time, Mandela has a dress to the prom as well, from a letter from William Shakespeare, so to speak, but it's actually Michael, or Cameron's friend. Oh, fair lady, join me at the prom and whatnot. And then it leads to Kat and Bianca having a heart-to-heart. And she's like, you know, I'm the only sophomore who has asked to go to the prom, but I can't go because you don't feel like it. And then she tells her sister about Joey and how Joey and her went out in 9th for a month and that they had sex and that it led to problems. She's like, just once, right after Mom left, and everyone was doing it, so I did it. And then I told him I didn't want to anymore because I wasn't ready, and he got pissed and he dumped me. Well, why isn't it anybody didn't tell me about this? Because I told him if he said anything to anybody, the cheerleading squad would find out how tiny his dick is. I mean, perfect frickin' revenge, you know. When the dad opens the door to Joey and wanting to take Bianca to the prom, the look on his face, oh, it's the look of every dad, I'm telling you. So when Bianca so this lovely heart-to-heart that they're having turns to where Bianca's just pissed off because she won't be able to make the mistakes or have any experiences for herself. She or her sister was trying to protect her, you know? It's an older sibling thing. Your older siblings do try to protect you. All the times that my brothers have tried to protect me, giving me advice that I just blew off, 2020 hindsight, I look back and you know what? I recognize that is exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to protect me from making mistakes. I still made them because, well, I didn't want to listen to their shit, you know? So then I love the next scene because it shows the father watching this ad where spray on hair, and he's like, and it just shows his bald patch right back there, and he's like, interesting. So then Kat comes out, bye, Dad, I'm going to the prom. Funny, sweetie. Then he hears the door open and close. He's like, wait, what? So he goes back, and then he sees Bianca coming down. What's that? A prom dress? I seem to be hearing that word a lot lately. And so she answers the door, and it's Cameron. And he picks her up, and he's like, or she's like, bye, Daddy. Stop. Turn. Explain. And so she explains that Cameron wanted to asked her to prom, and she really wanted to go, and she's allowed to because Kat went to and whatnot. And he's like, it's nice to meet you. And he goes to shake the hand, but she's like, nah, let's go. I know every cop in town, bucko. And he actually turns and he's like, no, it's not like that. And so he's like, oh, this is not good. So the prom scene, where Kat has basically, or the prom starts and Joey's not there yet, but so Kat and Verona, Heath Ledger, are dancing. They see Bianca and Cameron, and then you see Mandela come up. Have you seen him? Who? William. He told me to meet him here. Oh, Mandela, please tell me you haven't gone on to full-on hallucinations. So Pat then points out to the stage, and you see Michael up there, and the singer winked to him. It's like, he walks up, lady, good sir. So they're now having, and that's when Joey then shows up, and it's like, okay, hello, Mr. Stratford. I'm Joey. I'm here to pick up Bianca. Close the door and walks away, and Joey's just like, what the fuck? Because, well, yeah, I wouldn't want that dude either, or I wouldn't want that dude going out with my daughter either. He's an asshole. So then in the bathroom, Chastity, Bianca's friend, shows up. She's like, what are you doing here? Oh, you didn't think you were the only sophomore to go or be invited to the prom. Joey just picked me up. Oh, good luck. He's all yours. Very generous, princess. And just so you know, Joey only liked you for one reason. He even had a bet going on with his friends. He was going to nail you tonight. I mean, frickin' Chastity became a real bitch in this movie. And it's like, you know what? You're probably going to be the one ended up knocked up at frickin' like sophomore, so 16. You're probably going to be knocked up at 16 because of your stupidity. Well, actually, no, because of what happens next. So Joey basically pulls Pat away from Kat, and he overhears the whole thing. I didn't pay you to take out Kat so some guy could snake me with Bianca. Nothing in it for you, huh? So he has to fix that. And then they're like, the shitteth has hitteth the fanneth. Him. So then Joey punches out Cameron, and then he gets punched out by Bianca. That's for making my date bleed. That's for my sister. And then knees him in the nuts, and that's for me. And it's like, oh, shit. So then you see the fallout with Kat and Patrick. She's like, you were paid to take me out by the one person I truly hate. I knew this was a setup. He's like, I didn't care about the money. I cared about you. You are not who I thought you were. And so he tries to kiss her to let her know, but she breaks it off and runs. And then it's after the prom where she's sitting on the porch and Bianca invites her out to go sailing with him. Chastity has a very ironic name. Yeah, I know, right? And so then the father goes out and she's like, where are they going? Oh, just for a small meetup with some bikers. Big ones, full of sperm. Funny. So how about this? Tell me about this dance. Was it hopping? Parts of it. What parts? The part where Bianca beat the hell out of some guy. Bianca did what? What? You're angry because, or upset because I rubbed off on her? No, impressed. So then this heart-to-heart with the father, Kat and her dad have a heart-to-heart. You see, fathers don't like to admit when their children have grown up that are able to look out for themselves. That means we become spectators. Bianca still lets me play a few innings. You've had me on the bench for years. When you go to Sarah Lawrence, I won't even be able to watch the game. And she's like, when I go? Well, don't tell me you changed your mind. I already sent him a check. And it's a nice little heart-to-heart because the way that Bianca or Kat had treated her dad was kind of like, you know what? I am old enough to make my own decisions. You got to let me go because of your own insecurities. But she had always been like that because her father or her mom leaving the whole thing had kind of screwed her up. You know, she became a rebel. And then we get to the scene at school where they're like, so I trust everybody was able to complete their homework over the weekend, except for Mr. Donner, who has an excuse. He heard about him getting eaten nuts. He's like, Shaft, lose the sunglasses. And so when he takes off the sunglasses, you see that he has a broken nose and a black eye and whatnot because of freaking Bianca beating the hell out of him. And he's like, so who wants to read theirs out loud? And you see, then you see Kat read hers out loud and how she starts breaking down as she's reading it because it's truly something that she wrote from the heart. And this is the whole 10 things that you hate about. So I hate about you. And when in fact it's actually like 13 or 14 things, but it still works. So she ends up leaving the room because she's crying her eyes out at the end of it. Then at the end of that, you see when you see Morgan or Mr. Morgan looking, he's like, what the hell? Who the hell did this? What? I mean, it doesn't show you close up to him. It just, he's in the back. He's like, what? So she goes out to her car, sees the guitar. And she's like, and he's like, I had an extra cash lying around. Some asshole paid me to take out this really great girl. Is that right? Well, yeah, but I screwed up. You see, I fell for her. And so then they do a kiss. You know, you can't just buy me a car or a guitar every time you screw up. Yeah, I know. But then there's always drums, bass, and maybe one day even a tambourine. So then they kiss, and don't think that you can. And then he kisses her again, and then you get the band singing "I Want You to Want Me." It's actually an older song than that. They are actually singing it from, or they're not the original band, and they're on top of Padua High School on the roof singing that song or doing that, or doing the motions. And then we get into the ending bloopers. Dude, with the ending bloopers where frickin' he's like, no, everybody digs your sister, but she's without. And then instead of pulling away, he actually just kisses her and they laugh and whatnot. The ending bloopers to this movie was pretty good. This is a movie that you can actually watch the entire credit sequence all the way through because of the bloopers being done during the credits. And the ending bit was supposed to be a deleted scene or something where Kat's pulling her sister down the hallway. What? Or how did you do that to me? Oh, what? I just thought I could damage me to send me to therapy forever? What? Hey, Kamen Rider, you're just coming in at the end of this. But yeah, I was doing 10 things I hate about you, and then, so then they swing around the corner and you see Alice Janney making out with the director of the frickin' movie. I miss credit bloopers. They were the highlight of Jackie Chan movies. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh my God, dude. Literally it runs all the way to the last second of it. And then that's the end of the movie. So yeah, the scores that I'll give 10 things, objectively speaking, even with the little technical goofs here and there and whatnot, this movie does ring true about a 9, objectively. It has nothing but, or its entire intention is to be a loose Shakespearean adaptation of Taming of the Shrew, but it also has all the right comedy moments, all the right serious moments, all the right acting moments. This movie was well written. This movie had great cinematography. It shows that this movie had a lot of heart put behind it, and it is truly great to see. It's one that you can watch over and over throughout the years. When I got the DVD to it, they did the 10-year anniversary where they had the cast doing the audio commentary, and it's just wonderful to watch. So yeah, definitely a 9 out of 10 objective with the quality and the acting and the script and the cast and whatnot. And then when it comes to subjective, it's obviously a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed the movie. And again, as I said in the beginning of the stream, this was when I was sent to the theaters with my uncle to watch a movie to take our minds off my grandmother's passing, because she had just passed and I was down in Buffalo when I was 14, and we were watching this movie. I had no intention of watching it. I didn't care. I didn't think that a movie called 10 Things I Hate About You was going to be any good. But then I watched it and I absolutely loved it. And I also, at the time, I saw the trailer for Episode 1 Star Wars for the first time and fell in love with that too. So, definitely subjective, it's 10 out of 10. Moviegoer, if you like romantic comedies, this movie is definitely one for you. It is a 10 out of 10. He even has a little bit of tiny action here and there because, well, a couple of fights and whatnot. But this movie is really a great movie. It's a freaking coming-of-age story, And it truly is one that is enjoyable to watch. So anyway, folks, that is going to be my review. I am going to give the hints for my review next week, which will be Wednesday morning. I am going to switch the reviews over to Wednesday because Wednesdays are more open. I'm not going to be competing with Lethal in them. And it's just more convenient, That way I can get more of a viewing and whatnot. So the next movie's hints. Let's see here. What's a good hint to drop that doesn't totally give it away? Well, AAGBL. That's one hint. Most likely it's a dead giveaway. As for the second hint, Madonna. So those are the two hints. It is most likely going to be a dead giveaway for some of you. Anyway, folks, I do want to hear about that. It was 10 Things I Hate About You, Kamen Rider. That was the movie that I was talking about. Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. Epime, Kamen, Rough Girl, Brian King, who else? Pastor G, Liquid Blake, and yep. Thank you all for tuning in. Indeed, if you know the movie, do not say it in the chat. But yes, you are right, Epime. I know, or you know exactly what. You should definitely do a Q&A video. I will. When I get to 1,000, I will do an open Ask Me Anything Q&A. So, Kamen Rider, definitely get me, or help get me to 1,000, and I'll definitely do that Q&A. So anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you're catching this in the replay, how did you like 10 Things I Hate About You? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. Anyway, folks, see y'all next week, or stay tuned till Friday, because I'm going to be doing the versus stream that I was unable to do 2 weeks ago, which is Spectre versus Ghost Rider. And I got, hopefully, Riot Kitty. I got Price is Right, and I got Ambassador for that one, which leaves a couple more spots open. Anyway, that's going to be the video, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.